Hello.
What happened?
Ambushed.
So what I heard was correct.
Yes, ambushed.
Well then, start talking.
As you know, my cover job company was moving location.
It must be very difficult for you, seeing that you do not like change.
Correct.
And on that note, I seen you have gotten as well a new car. So what? You couldn't fix the damages that was caused by those alien smugglers a couple of months ago, so you decided to buy a new car? And a Jimmy, fresh out of the box, nonetheless.
What can I say? The car was totaled, and my sister forced my father to buy me a new car, seeing that I'm mostly on dirt road. And my original car, Melody, was taking way too much damage on a dirt road.
Melody, because he drives like a song.
That's correct. How did you know that?
I know a lot of things about you, agent operator Cap.
Well, that's nerve-wracking.
Indeed. The new car's name is Jazz, correct? Because she's a smooth ride? As smooth like a smooth criminal. Cute, Michael Jackson fan.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I didn't. Back to the incident.
Well, like I said, my office changed locations and we moved all our stuff from our old office to the new office. And I was in a shipping container sorting out some wires and electric stuff, and I heard this buzzing behind me. Large, heavy buzzing. And I turned around and I saw it, a Vespagon, which means large wasp or mega-sized wasp, a very remarkable pterosaur species, falling under the Mega Insecta family, which literally means large or giant insect. I can see the creativity behind these creatures' names were at its peak. Gigantic insects are rare but not uncommon. Most of these pterosaur species came into existence because of the environment they were in. An environment with no predators, huge amounts of oxygen, and abundance of food, giving them no reason to stay small, and it's continually increasing their growth size. As you know, the biggest animal usually mates the first, and those produce the biggest, and then those produce the biggest, and so forth and so on. Increasing the size to the bigger one, to the bigger one, to the bigger one, allowing us to have creatures like the Jabberwocky, the giant Congo spider, the Hakabanisi, a American gigantic grasshopper, almost twice the size of a man, the Jinshinmushi or earthquake beetle, the Gu, also known as the Yukon giant worm, and the skitterto, or Akikana snipe. A lot of agents use the slang skitterto for the mega insecta, even though skitterto, whose name has origins in mosquito, but most of the coalition agents use skitterto as a slang word to describe giant insects or mega insecta. When I called in backup agents, a lot of agents called the creature I saw a skitterto wasp. Even though it isn't a mosquito wasp, it was a giant wasp. It was a Vespagon.
Very, very interesting. But back to your operation.
Yes, yes, yes. Like I said, I was in one of the shipping containers, packing away a few things, and I suddenly heard this buzzing. And I turned around at the entrance, of the container from the roof, what I call it, from the ceiling, the upper part of the entrance of the container. I just saw this head of a giant wasp pop out, and it started to crawl on the roof. I mean, on the ceiling, closer and closer to me. I have to admit I was a bit scared. I was trapped, cornered in a heated box with a giant, dangerous killer wasp. Luckily for me, I had one of those concealed energy pulse phones. You know, those phones that were modified to shoot small projectiles of energy.
Not one of your designs, I take it.
No, 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 no. One of the doctors, with a help of a extraterrestrial, managed to create or transform our phones into these small taser weaponry used as a last resort and to be used in self-defense. The weapon uses 5% of the power of the phone and uses that to blast a energy pulse to a specific target, causing a slight tase to the target, causing the phone to become an effective deterrent against hostile creatures or hostile enemies. For our field operatives and agents, carrying concealed weaponry is extremely hard, especially in places where weaponry aren't allowed. So we needed to develop a type of weapon that could be easily concealed and on your everyday carry. So coalition agents and engineers developed this taser phone.
Easier to conceal, but I have to admit, not as effective as your concealed weapon design.
Ah yes, my flashlight. It looks like a standard mall cop flashlight, but the handle can break in two, revealing that one part is a handle for a gun and the other bit conceals a revolver with 4 rounds, while the head of the flashlight can spin around, revealing the barrel. And to add a little bit of more extra protection, the head of the flashlight has 2 prongs that act as a taser. This weapon can be used in medium range and close range, for both subduing and attacking an opponent.
Back to your incident. What happened?
Well, like I said, I was doing inventory. I heard this buzzing. I looked to the entrance of the container and I just saw this massive wasp head sticking into the container from the roof area of the entrance of the container. And it started crawling to me. And the head started moving into the container, revealing the giant wasp body. And it started crawling towards me on the ceiling. Now this creature was massive. Its wings scraped against the walls of the shipping container. I would have said this wasp was the size of a small car. I just saw its mandibles. I saw its eyes looking at me with no methods of getting out of there, seeing that there was only one entrance and exit to this container. I just grabbed my phone and I started firing. 3 shots. First shot made the creature agitated, second shot made the creature scream, third shot made the creature back off. It jumped on the floor of containers and messed up wiring boxes, but it managed to move out. It screamed at me one last time before flying away. After that, I called it in and request coalition backup immediately. I walked out of the container with my phone gun drawn, trying to see if the creature was still there. I just saw it flying out of the distance. And I saw my fellow colleagues looked at me in stunned silence. I went back onto my phone and I requested a perfume sprayer or perfume salesman. It's our nicknames for people that has that mind-wiping spray that we use to make people forget what they saw. And when we administer it, we say it's a new form of perfume brand that people might be interested, instead of forcing it on the people in order to make them forget. But while I waited, I tried to keep my colleagues calm, telling them that what they saw was just a regular bird. They keep screaming at me, no, 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 that was a monstrous wasp. What was that? And then my other colleagues started coming out of the other containers, and the story spread like wildfire. After, let's say, 15 minutes, terrible timing by the way, coalition agents finally arrived, and they gave everyone the spray and cleared up the scene. Detectives arrived, took my statement, and looked around at any evidence they could find.
Was there any evidence?
Not really. The creature just arrived, tried to attack, and was chased away.
Your thoughts on the matter?
Well, Vesper gons usually keep to the higher atmosphere areas. Usually, when they fly so low, it's only for two reasons: for food or to build a nest. If it is here to build a nest, we need to find it immediately, or we could have an outbreak of mini Vespergons.
I have agents on the lookout and... One moment, please.
Really professional, eh?
Unlike you, my calls are important.
Sure.
This is Agent MC speaking.
Ma'am, we found it. The Vesper gone. That operator Phantom encountered the other day. The Vesper gone. Apparently tried to build a nest in a local farm in one of the garages. We tracked it down after a frantic call from the farm owner of a giant wasp in his garage.
Interesting.
He moved in, netted the creature, took it to the base. Apparently was trying to build a nest. It's now in holding cell B12 and has been given materials to build a nest.
Thank you, Agent. I will inform the agent. That was a caption contained team leader. Notifying me, they managed to locate and capture the Vespergon. Apparently, it was at a local farm trying to build a nest in one of its garages. The team moved in after the farmer called it in. They captured it and moved it to here. At the moment, it's being held in cell block B7.
Protocol dictates that this Terrazon should be kept in its containment center, given proper materials to build its nest, otherwise it will keep the eggs in its stomach and could cause it injuries. After it builds its nest and the eggs have been laid, the eggs will then be removed and put into cryogenic storage. The Vespergon then will be moved to one of our sanctuary islands.
Can you explain the concept of a sanctuary island, please?
Well, with all the cryptids and terrazons we managed to capture over the years, and with no proper place to return them to, for an example, their homes were destroyed via natural disaster or man-made disaster, or with creatures who came from alternate timelines or dimensions who we can't send home, we send them to one of our sanctuary islands. Our sanctuary islands are coalition bought islands that acts like a wildlife preserve or a monster preserve, if you will. We keep several different type of creatures in these different type of islands. I think Jurassic Park without the tourist. We have massive avian domes for our giant flyers. Lots of herbivores most of the times get put in one cage to save costs. Carnivores get separate enclosures and get fed custom meals. Most parts of the islands worked as livestock farms to feed the different type of carnivores. Herbivores, we as well plant on-site different types of vegetation to feed them. But lots of times, to save on cost, the creatures are released into specific sanctuary islands or sanctuary places. They are just released into the island. Imagine a Jurassic Park Site B without the tourist, if you will, and has given chips to monitor and track them.
Leaving the creatures to defend for themselves.
Most of times with males and females, it becomes a stable ecosystem, and yes, other times not so much. But the coalition's main goal is to get these creatures away from a human populace for their safety and their own safety. Cruel, yes, but if the coalition had to choose on this natural method on how nature prefers to spending millions upon millions of cash just to keep these creatures fed and well medicated, I think the coalition would pick the one that cost less. Remember, we're not funded by the government or anything like this. We are a private military agency.
Fair enough.
This Vespagon will be sent to one of our sanctuary sectors. There's an island off the coast of Florida, or nearby Florida, that's specialized in mega insectopteranodons. We have a large Vespagon avian enclosure there.
Wouldn't you want to lay more eggs?
No. Once she's introduced into this enclosure with other Vespagons, she'll see that there will be a need to produce more of her species to fill in the space because there's already Vespagons filling that in that space. So she'll instantly stop her reproducing cycle. The eggs, I hate taking away children from the mother, but this is more safer and cost effective. Raising the eggs in cryostasis until we find a proper use for them or a proper place where we can release them where there won't be any form of danger to themselves or to others. Yes, most of the times these mega insecta eggs are kept in cryogenic frozen storage. I have proposed on releasing both the parents and the eggs in Nukaru, but the council disapproved. In case these creatures that's originally from our universe might become an invasive species in that universe, causing the extinction of millions upon different species of creatures. The council, especially the ethical side of the council, has agreed to cryogenically freeze the eggs until an alternative can be figured out.
Well then, I believe that covers all. One more thing. What went right, what went wrong, and what would you have changed?
What went right is we managed to capture the eggs before they hatched, and nobody died. That's a good thing. What went wrong was my exit strategy. I immediately went for my blast for my phone gun. I should have think of another method of escaping. There's always another way out of a situation. Or, like my commander taught me, There's always more than one way to get out of a situation.
You got out safely. No one got hurt. I say that was the best option. And what would you have changed?
Can't really think of something.
Neither do I. Do you have anything else to report?
Not really at the moment. I'm heading to the holding cells to see how the Vespergon is going on, and to see how she built her nest. Cell block B7, correct?
Yes, whole block B7, floor 12.
Well, thank you, Agent MC. And see you again.